Marketing automation is the easiest AI automation solutions that you can sell in 2025, but the reality is that a lot of people get them wrong. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Kia, and I've worked as an AI advisor and developer to some of the world's largest marketing agencies. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 AI marketing opportunities that could make you a ton of money if executed properly. But with that said, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Now, just before I get into the actual source, I want to quickly talk about one thing that I've been thinking a lot about recently, and that's products versus services in the age of AI. So traditionally, products have been the super cool, super sexy business model that was known as very scalable and a lot of people wanted to get into. Whereas on the other hand, services were known as this unscalable business model that only beginner entrepreneurs did because you couldn't really scale past a certain limit. And that's why most new entrants into the AI space in 2025 are trying to sell AI products, and they're completely ignoring this massive opportunity in AI services. Let me explain. Now, if you guys have played around with AI coding tools like Bolton, Lovable, and Claude Code, you've already got a glimpse into the future, because these apps can literally allow you to build entire applications using just natural language with almost zero technical expertise. And although in practice, the apps that they're making right now aren't that amazing, the reality is that if you extrapolate the curve of AI capabilities over time, at some point over the next couple of years, as AI capabilities do increase, development will be commoditized. Meaning literally anyone can build anything within just a couple of minutes using just a couple of prompts. Now, if you guys are sitting there saying this is not going to happen, stop lying to yourself. The worst thing you can do right now is put your head inside the sand and act like it's not happening. The reality is that development is being commoditized, and the best thing you can do is accept it right now and figure out a way to monetize it as opposed to run away from it and get left behind tomorrow. So if we come back to the dilemma of products versus services, if you think about products in terms of SaaS applications, the real moat behind them until now was their actual technology. 99.9% of people don't know how to code, and they don't have the funds to go and hire a developer to build an application for them in-house. So instead of hiring expensive developers to fix every single problem inside their business, they'll just go and buy subscriptions to SaaS tools that solve most of those problems. But if you think about it, in a world where literally anyone can build any application at the click of a couple of buttons for just a couple of dollars, there's almost no reason that anyone would want to go and pay a subscription to a software that they can't control. What they'll do instead is they'll build mini personalized apps that will better fulfill their specific problems on demand. So I do think that in a world where development gets commoditized, products also get commoditized. Because if you think about it, the real enabler of AI is personalization at scale. Meaning that AI allows for personalized experiences at a scale that we couldn't achieve until now. For example, if a company had 100 customer service calls come in at once and they wanted to fulfill that demand, they would need 100 customer service agents, because each agent could only talk to one person at a time. But the huge enabler of AI is that you can literally have one AI agent talking to 100 people at the same time. And this ability to scale personalization is exactly why services are going to be the big thing in the age of AI. Because if you think about it, the difference between a service and a product is that a service is providing a personal experience to each customer. For example, as an accountant, what you're doing is you're talking to each customer, figuring out what accounting issues they have, and then solving those accounting issues for them. Whereas if you had some sort of accounting tool like Xero, there's only a set number of functions that people can use, and that's going to be the same for every single user. Now, the bad thing about services until now is that they were very unscalable, because the reality was that if you wanted to provide a personalized service to each customer, you'd need to invest a ton of time, and that would only be achievable if you were to employ more and more employees. But the fact that AI now allows for us to achieve personalization at scale means that service-based businesses aren't as unscalable as they once were. And the reality is that 99% of people don't see this yet, because I see a ton of people still trying to transition from service-based businesses into product-based businesses, not because they enjoy building products, but because they want to scale their business. And I've even seen a ton of marketing agency owners closing down their marketing agencies to build AI products because they think that's going to be their golden ticket to make a ton of money. But I actually think the biggest unlock and the biggest opportunity of AI is to provide hyper-personalized services at scale for a fraction of what it would cost cost before AI. So that said, if you're currently running a marketing agency, I wouldn't recommend transitioning and trying to sell AI products instead. What you should be doing is selling your same marketing service, but this time mostly automated so you can scale beyond any limits that you had until now. That is the real opportunity that AI has provided you in 2025. So with that said, let's get into the first marketing automation opportunity. Now, the first marketing automation opportunity is to sell SEO services, but this time not manually, but with AI. Now, if you guys don't know what SEO is basically what people do to ensure that when someone searches up for your product or service on Google, you rank number one. Because the reality is that if someone's looking for an accountant and they go to Google and say, who are the accountants near me? And if you're the person that ranks number one, it's very likely that the lead will literally just click on the first link, book a call, and become your customer. So the idea with SEO is that you want to rank higher in Google searches related to your product or service. Now, almost every single business can benefit from SEO, and if they do get their SEO right, it can literally replace their entire marketing funnel. Because the people that go to Google and search up for your specific service are very hot leads that are literally just looking for someone to solve their problem. You don't need to first educate them. You don't need to go through a long sales life cycle. You just need to prove to them that you can actually do your job right, and you will get that customer. And if you're ranking number one on Google, eventually you'll end up getting so many hot leads that you wouldn't need to do anything else for your business. But the reality is that running an SEO agency is extremely labor intensive because there's a whole bunch of things that you need to do on an ongoing basis to ensure that you consistently rank on Google. One of which is posting consistent high value blogs to signal to Google that you are actually the best authority in your specific domain. And that's exactly why SEO agencies are generally very expensive to work with. If you want to work with good SEO agencies and get the full suite of services that they can often cost 5 to 10 to 15K plus. And that's not a one-time fee, that's per month. And so as you can imagine, a ton of businesses can't actually afford to work with SEO agencies, although they could benefit from them greatly. Because the average small business that's probably only making 10 or 20K per month obviously can't invest that much into just running an SEO campaign that probably won't even bring them results within the first 6 or 7 months. But that is exactly where there's a massive opportunity for automating SEO services for small businesses. Because the reality is that you can literally build out automations to automate the entire SEO process, all the way from research to building a strategy to running an audit and to even posting blog posts every single week for the business. Now, traditionally, writing a good blog post would have taken a ton of time and would have been very expensive because you would have to hire copywriters to literally sit down, come up with great ideas, good research, and then build out these pieces of content by manually writing them. But now you can literally automate this entire blog post process with a simple workflow on n8n that will not only research, but will also write the content and even link it to other blogs that the company has previously posted. So technically now, if you were to build some sort of SEO agency that had all of these things templated and built from in advance, you can offer the same SEO service that other SEO agencies are charging 10 to 15K for literally 1 to 2K. Because the cost of handling a new client is so low that the vast majority of that is profit. So if you really wanted to, you could even offer this service for around $200 per month. And if you could actually bring in results for $200 per month, I can guarantee you'd have a ton of clients. Because if we think about the entire market as a big circle, there's a very big portion that isn't being served yet because they literally can't afford these services. But if you could come in and offer them these SEO automation services at a very cheap price and actually deliver results for them, then you would get a ton of business. Now, if you guys do want to automate SEO, I've literally released a n8n template that will do the entire blog posting process for you. It will literally research, write the blogs, link internally to past blogs that were posted, and even post it directly to your website. And the crazy thing that is it literally costs less than $1 per blog post. And as I said, I've released the n8n template for completely free, so I'm going to link it in the description down below. Now, just one thing that's extremely important is that when you're selling these marketing automations, you shouldn't be framing them as n8n templates. You should be framing them as AI services. So when you talk to the business owner, you don't want to tell them that this is an n8n template that we're going to set up for you in the back end. Instead, what you want to say is we offer SEO services and we're an AI first business. So technically, you're not telling them that it's a template, you're telling them it's an AI service. You're basically putting yourself in the same category of other SEO agencies, but you're telling them you're not just a normal SEO agency, you're an AI SEO agency. And the reason why this is extremely important is that if you tell clients that you're building some sort of n8n template in the backend that's handling the task, then it's going to significantly reduce the amount of value that they see in your product or service. Instead, what you always want to do is abstract the actual template that's in the backend. Don't show that to them. Instead, just offer them the service on a retainer model, similar to how all the other SEO agencies do it. This way, you can literally compete with SEO agencies that are doing everything manually, but for you, providing that same service is costing a fraction of what it's costing them because you have AI handling the majority of the processes. But in the eyes of the customer, they have no clue that you've literally built an n8n template that's doing everything. They just see the results that you're bringing them, and that's what allows for you to directly compete with these normal SEO agencies that are literally charging an arm and a leg. So when it comes to building out these solutions, what I usually like to recommend is have some sort of front end or some sort of dashboard that you build with Lovable or some sort of AI coding tool that the client can see, so that they don't have to actually see the n8n template in the background. All they see is some sort of dashboard that says you've bought 200 new leads over the past couple of weeks, or X number of people have clicked on your website, or whatever it is. That's going to significantly increase the value of the service that you offer. And honestly, I say this from experience because I've had a ton of conversations with people that always say, I can literally download this for free from YouTube, but because I don't have time, I want you to come and build it for me for $500, which is ridiculous. But if we actually came in and said, we want to offer this service to you, but didn't actually tell them it was an n8n template, then they would put that in the same category of other service providers that would do this manually. And they wouldn't have the audacity to tell me they want me to set something up for them for a couple $100. So always put a front end on your n8n templates and sell the outcomes, not the workflow. Now, if you guys are selling SEO services, I'll definitely recommend getting into Geo as well. Geo, or generative engine optimization, is what you would do to rank #1 in AI search tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity. So the idea is that we're moving towards a world where more and more people are searching on ChatGPT and other large language models instead of searching on Google. And I do believe that in the very short term future, there's going to be a lot more AI search than there is a normal search on Google. So if you could also rank #1 for your product or service on AI platforms like ChatGPT, then you would gain a ton of more clients. And the beautiful thing is that Geo is literally an untapped market. There's only a handful of people that I've seen so far that are actually trying to offer this as a service and that have even actually been able to make this work. So if you could get into this very early and actually crack the code on providing Geo services, then you would get a ton of clients and your clients will get a ton of results. And again, I say this from experience because we've literally got people come to us and say they found us on Perplexity and ChatGPT. And the reality is that we don't even do anything for our Geo yet. So if we're not doing anything for our Geo and we're literally getting recommendations from LLMs as the best AI agency they can talk to inside their local area, then that proves that there is already a massive demand for Geo, and in the future, this demand is going to increase a lot more. Because if you think about it, these large language models aren't just search tools. They're not like Google where you literally have to search up who's the best doctor near me. Instead, what you'll do with these large language models is you literally talk to them like a coach and like a friend. You'd say something like, I have back pain, what should I do? Then ChatGPT will say, well, look, if you have back pain, you should probably go talk to a doctor. And then what you'd say is, cool, well, who's the best doctor in my area? And then once you ask that question, ChatGPT will recommend the best doctor in your area. And all you do is literally click on the button ChatGPT gives you and you'd book a call with that doctor. So I generally do think that in the future, Geo is going to be a lot bigger and more important than SEO. So if you haven't already, I'd definitely recommend checking out Geo and seeing if you can offer that as a service to to your clients. And again, I'm saying as a service, not as a product. That brings us to the second biggest marketing opportunity, and that's personalized outreach services. Now let's imagine we want to run a cold email campaign to reach out to a ton of people. Traditionally, what you'd have to do is you'd have to send out the same email to all of these people and only personalize a couple of variables. For example, your email body would literally be the same. The only thing that will change is the name of that person. So it'd say, hey Kia, we sell XYZ services. And to the next person, you'll say, hey Joe, we'll sell XYZ services. And to the next person, it would literally just say the same thing over and over again. And the only thing that it will change is the person's name. Now, although people used to call that personalization, that's not really personalization. So the reality is that till now we were sending out emails in a one-to-many fashion. Meaning we literally had one email that was being sent to many people. The reason for that was, let's say if you wanted to reach out to 1,000 people and you wanted to make the email personalized for each of them, you would literally have to go and research each of these 1,000 people to identify exactly who they are and what their probable needs are. And then you'd have to craft an email for each and every single one of those people and send it to them one by one. So even if we said the best case scenario, you could do that entire process within just 5 minutes for each client, that would literally take you 5,000 minutes just to send off 1,000 emails. Now, 5,000 minutes is around 83 hours, or basically the same amount of hours as 2 full-time employees for a whole week. So you would literally need 2 full-time employees to work for 1 full week just to reach out to 1,000 leads. That's why it was super unscalable, and that's why most people just went with the one-to-many approach and they blasted emails to a ton of people, just changing the name every time. But if we think back to what we were just talking about in terms of personalization at scale, this is the perfect opportunity for AI to come in and allow for us to personalize this email at scale to all 1,000 people without us having to sit down and do it manually every time. Because if you think about it, that entire research process and email creation and sending process could be automated and could be done almost simultaneously for all 1,000 people. So realistically, you could achieve a one-to-one email where every single email that's being sent out to every single person is fully personalized to them for the entire 1,000 people within just a couple of minutes with the help of AI. And so if you obviously think about it, if each email was fully dedicated to each person and it was all one-to-one, well, the amount of replies that you'd get would be significantly higher, and the amount of people that you would eventually convert would also be significantly higher. And that's why personalized outreach is one of the biggest opportunities that AI allows in 2025 for marketing solutions. You can literally scrape a list of 20,000 people and run it through an AI automation workflow that will research every single person and send them emails within just a couple of minutes and for just a couple of dollars. This would otherwise cost you a ton of money. So if you were to come in and offer this as a service, as an agency that sold personalized outreach, you could potentially make a ton of money. Now, when it comes to personalized outreach, there's generally 3 methods that you can use. One of them is personalized DMs, another one is personalized emails, and another one is personalized calls. So I think that personalized cold calling right now is a little bit underdeveloped in terms of the actual technology, so I wouldn't really go down that path. With personalized DMs, there is a couple of anti-bot regulations on different platforms that you have to consider if you do want to automate. For example, if you want to automate LinkedIn outreach, you have to ensure that the accounts you use don't get banned, because most of these social media platforms do have anti-bot policies. So it's a little bit more difficult to get personalized DMs to work properly. But if you do, they could be very, very valuable. But honestly, the biggest opportunity and the most easiest solution that you can sell when it comes to personalized outreach is personalized cold emails. Now, if you guys are interested in setting up a personalized cold email automation, I've literally set up a template that I gave away for free in this video, which I'll link in the description down below. The personalized cold email template that I gave away is literally capable of researching every single lead that you pass into it and sending hyper-personalized emails that are optimized for deliverability with a whole bunch of features that I won't get into right now. And if you guys are interested in automating lead generation, I literally have given away another template that allows for you to scrape a list of leads by literally talking to a Telegram bot. You grab your phone, record your voice and say, scrape a list of marketing agency owners in XYZ country. And within just a couple of seconds, the AI agent will fill a Google Sheet full of scrape leads for you. So as I said, I'll link both videos along along with their templates in the description down below, so go and check them out. Now, I do just want to give a very quick warning about marketing automations, because the reality is, although marketing automations are very easy to sell, they're very hard to get right. And I don't want to make it look like you can literally sell marketing automations tomorrow and make $1 gazillion. Because on one hand, the fact that literally every single business wants to grow and every single business wants to get more leads makes marketing automations an extremely attractive offering that you can offer businesses. Because the ROI when they invest in these marketing automations is very tangible. You literally tell them, look, you pay us $2.5 grand per month and we'll literally bring you $5 grand per month in business. So we will 2x the investment you make in our retainer. And because you can literally very quickly bring them these results, they'll very tangibly and quickly see the results. And so they'll generally stick around for longer as long as you provide those results. But the reality that most people don't know is that it's actually very hard to get results when you're offering these marketing solutions. Because for example, in order to sell the personalized outreach solution that we were just talking about, you have to actually understand how to write cold emails that actually convert. You have to know what makes a cold email land in the inbox as opposed to spam. You have to know psychologically what makes someone click on a cold email. You have to know psychologically what makes someone read through a cold email. You have to know psychologically what makes someone click on a link in a cold email. All of these things are things that you actually have to understand and perfect from a marketing perspective before you go ahead and automate it and try and make it easier and more scalable with AI. And the fact that the results from these marketing automations is very tangible for the business that you provide that service to makes it even more scary, because the business will very quickly know whether what you're doing for them is working or it's not working. Because if it's not working, they probably won't be very happy. And so one thing that I would urge is that if you guys do decide to sell marketing solutions using AI, please actually go and learn these marketing trades before you go and try and automate the process and sell it as a service. Don't just download one of my templates blindly and start selling it as an offering to your clients. Spend some time in actually learning it from a marketing perspective, test it out to ensure you actually bring real results, and then go and start selling it as an offer to your ideal customer. Now that brings me to the third marketing opportunity that I'm super excited about that I honestly haven't seen anyone do yet. And that's selling social media management or AI content creation to businesses. The reality is that almost every single business out there would love to create content, but they literally just don't have the time, the confidence, or the technical expertise to do it. As a person that literally posts on YouTube, I can tell you that creating content takes a ton of time and it's literally a full-time job if you want to do it properly. So for most small businesses, creating content is just not an option that they can do or afford. But the huge opportunity here that most people are missing is that we're moving towards a world where the majority of the content that gets created on social media is going to be AI generated. You can literally build AI avatars that look like this or this or this to do it for you. Just imagine if you had built an AI influencer or an AI avatar that looked like this very attractive woman that built a social media following around your specific business and your specific niche. So for example, if you sell accounting services, imagine if you had this lady build a social media presence on TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn talking about accounting for businesses, giving out tips, giving out value, and getting eyeballs, and then sending the traffic that was generated from those social media platforms to your business. Just imagine how much benefit you'd get from that. Now, the other reality also is that most business owners are not this attractive. For example, if I was a woman and I looked like that, I would probably have way more followers on YouTube right now. So tapping into the AI influencer and AI avatar market could literally be a massive unlock for any business. But it's very important that they do this very quickly, because we are moving towards a world where more and more content is being created with AI, and as there's more and more content out there in the world, there's more content for you to compete with for the eyeballs, and so consequently it gets harder and harder to build a real brand. So you can literally use what I just told you as a pitch to get people to buy your AI content creation services. We're literally moving towards a world where building a personal brand or building a brand around your business is going to be very hard, because content is going to become commoditized. So if you do it right now, you can get unmatched results. But if you wait around and don't do it, your competitors will do it and they'll absolutely crush you. Now, as I said, the beautiful thing about this opportunity is that I don't even know a single person that's doing it. So if you were to go and learn this specific process and offer it to small and medium-sized businesses as a service, then you'd be very likely to get a ton of clients. Honestly, this third opportunity is one that I'm considering to offer as a service for our own agency at the moment as well. well. So if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it. But just like the other two marketing automations, you do have to learn how to first create content and then learn how to create content using AI and then learn how to do the entire process for businesses and make it scalable. So there is definitely a learning curve to getting this to actually work. So I don't want to sell any of the ideas that I gave you in this video as a make money quick scheme. The reality is that you have to put in the work, you have to do your learning, you have to understand it to be able to build a good AI solution that actually brings real results. And once you actually prove that it does bring results, then selling it to clients is going to be super easy. Now, as always, I hope you guys found this video valuable. If you did find this video valuable, I'd really appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.